What's happening, old school scares, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a quick review of the new Scream movie, Scream 6. I got my buddy Ghostface hanging out right behind me and over here. So this movie franchise is very near and dear to me. It's the only movie franchise that I've seen every movie in the theater. When the Friday the 13th movies came out, I was a little too young. I didn't see the first Nightmare on Elm Street in the theater. I think I saw from Nightmare on Elm Street like 3 on in the theater. And from Friday, I think the first Friday I saw in the theater was 6. And I saw them all from there on. I've since gone back and saw the original Elm Street and Friday in the theater as they've done these retro movies during the Halloween season, but I did not get a chance to see those in the theater originally. When the first Scream came out, I absolutely remember vividly seeing it with my wife, a good friend of mine and his future wife, and they were freaked out about it. I talked about it on my 25th anniversary Scream review a little while ago, but going to see Scream 6 was pretty cool for me. Now, I'm going to kind of break down Scream 6, kind of how I would break down all of the Scream movies. And I do look forward, this holiday season, I will do a ranking of all of the Scream movies. I will tell you, this is a franchise that does better than most. I don't think they have a lot of bad movies in the franchise. I actually think it's a pretty solid, strong horror franchise overall. So I would tell you, as I'm thinking about this movie, and I went and saw Scream 6, there was a couple things that came out. The first thing, I love the change of pace of going to New York. I think it brings a different element to the movie, and it's in a much more populated area, which I think makes it a lot scarier because there's this sense of isolation. I just happened to be in New York last week. Literally a week ago today, I was in New York on the subway system with work, and I spent the day in New York, and it's just funny how there's so many people all over the place all the time, but you still feel very isolated. So I love the fact that they were able to put this in a very populated area, but still give us a really good sense of isolation. There's also a lot of really nasty kills in this movie. As far as gore goes, I think this is one of the better movies in the franchise. As far as, gore and deaths, I think it's very good. I think it has a really good level of suspense and scares. This version of Ghostface is really scary. He's more vicious, if that's the term we want to use. I think it just feels more visceral, more guttural, and I think it's a really good movie for that reason. Let's talk about the elephant in the room with all the Scream movies. Since the first Scream movie, I don't think they've really found a good way to create the mystery of the killers. When I get to the end of it, it's always this convoluted reason why someone's the killer in the movie, and I don't think this movie does a very good job of breaking that trope. The Billy and Stu piece at the beginning were great. You kind of were trying to figure out what's this murder mystery, but now it's kind of become like an M. Night Shyamalan movie where every movie they're trying to one-up the surprise factor, or what's that twist. And it's doing the same thing here to moderate success. It's okay. Plays a lot in a lot of like the meta tropes that it's played in the previous movies as well. Our main characters are the 4 survivors from the last movie along with Gail. There's no Sydney in this movie. I do find that the characters tend to be a little bland. The Samantha character, I think, can be fleshed out a little bit more. The twins and her sister, I find to be just kind of, I don't know, they don't seem to me as genuine as the characters I had in the earlier Scream movies. Specifically, the twins come across that way. I think they're fine. They're not bad. The acting is okay. But I think the characters aren't, as we get into these meta tropes later on, and we're trying to have this establishment of, these movie buffs and movie nerds, and you have Randy's, obviously Randy's, nieces and nephews who are also into the whole horror thing. And, you brought back Kirby, which I thought was cool. I think she did a nice job in the movie. I think she showed up well. The Gale character is going to be the Gale character in the movie. Without Dewey and without Sydney, it was needed to bring one of the legacy characters back, and bringing her back along with Kirby I thought was pretty solid. Like I said, I think overall it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was scary in certain parts. I thought there was great gore. I had fun watching the movie. It didn't feel long in the 2 hours. So I would say, I give it a good 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was a solid movie. I think you'll enjoy it if you go check it out. So please go check out Scream 6. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new Evil Dead in the theater. I also saw the preview for the Pope's Exorcist, which looked pretty scary. So I think we have some good horror stuff coming to the theater this year. I can't wait. I'm also waiting for Maxine, which is the third in the trilogy of the XXX and Pearl movies. So again, a lot of cool stuff coming up. Can't wait to share it with you. If you haven't done so far, please hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, stay scary.